Hare Krishna. Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 text 28. Avyaktadini bhutani vyaktam madhyani bharata avyakta nidhanyanyeva tatra ka paridevana. Avyaktadini bhutani vyakta madhyani bharata avyakta nidhanani eva tatra ka paridevana. All created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when annihilated. So what need is there for lamentation? Accepting that there are two classes of philosophers, one believing in the existence of the soul and the other not believing in the existence of the soul, there is no cause for lamentation in either case. So two kind of philosophers here. One say that there is no soul exists, soul doesn't exist at all. Another thought is that soul exists. So Krishna is saying in both the case there is no cause for lamentation. Non-believers in the existence of the soul are called atheists by followers of Vedic wisdom. Vedic followers, they say that the people who don't believe in the existence of the soul, they are atheists. Yet, even if for argument's sake, for the sake of argument, we accept this atheistic theory for time being, for time being, if we accept this thought, okay, just for the sake of argument that okay, soul does not exist, okay, then there is still no cause for lamentation, okay, because apart from the separate existence of the soul, the material elements remain unmanifested before creation. Apart from the separate existence of the soul, the material elements remain unmanifested before creation. From this subtle state of non-manifestation comes manifestations. Just as from ether air is generated, from air fire is generated, from fire water is generated, and from water earth becomes manifested. So this is the process how things are manifested. So first of all ether, okay. So ether has only one quality, that is sound, and then from ether air is generated. So air has got two qualities, which is sound and touch, and then fire, from air is generated fire. So fire has one more added quality, that is visibility, like roof, like form we can see. And then from fire water is generated. So water has got one more addition, that is taste. Water has taste, fire don't have any taste. I don't know if anyone has tried, okay. And from water earth becomes manifested. So earth has got the fifth addition also, which is smell. So these are the five object of senses. So tanamatras it is called actually. So then from the earth many varieties of manifestations take place. Take for example a big skyscraper manifested from the earth. So when it is dismantled, the manifestation becomes again unmanifested and remains as atoms in the ultimate stage. So only thing is that the manifestation is finished, but the elements are still there. So if you don't believe on the soul, if you believe only on the elements, that there are only elements, and then what is the cause for lamentation? Because it is only the unmanifestation happened, okay, because the elements are always there. So that's why Prabhupada is giving the example of this building. So building was there, so those material elements, they were all together kept and they made building. When the building is destroyed or dismantled, so that doesn't mean that when building is dismantled, what has happened? Only then manifestation is finished, but those elements are still there. Yes. So the law of conservation of energy remains. If you have read this thing in physics in school days, the law of energy conservation, so it remains. But in in course of time things are manifested and unmanifested. So that is the difference. So then what is the cause? What cause is there for lamentation either in the stage of manifestation or in unmanifestation? Somehow or other, even in the unmanifested stage, things are not lost. So things are there, both at the beginning and at the end. All elements remain unmanifested. So before, and another thing, this is nice thing, that earlier also they were unmanifested. They were manifested for some time, and then again they are unmanifested. So what is the cause for lamentation? And only in the middle they are manifested, and this does not make any real material difference. So earlier they were, before, at the beginning they were unmanifested, and then at the end they are unmanifested. So in between only they were manifested. So there is no cause for lamentation. In that case, when we accept that there is no soul exist. So for the sake of argument, we have taken, okay, we say, okay, let's believe that soul doesn't exist. So in that case also, why you are, because if soul doesn't exist, then it is only the elements, material elements. So then why you are lamenting? Because if it is only the manifestation of material element, chemicals or like that, then actually nothing is, because nothing can be destroyed. These all elements are again unmanifested stage. Okay. So in that case also there is no cause for lamentation. And if we accept but other case, that soul exists, that's the Vedic conclusion. So if we accept the Vedic conclusion as stated in Bhagavad Gita, that these material bodies are perishable in due course of time, antavant ime deha, but that the soul is eternal. Nitya shokta sharirinaha, the soul is eternal, body is perishable. That's the Vedic conclusion. Then if we accept this one, then we must remember always that the body is like a dress, vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya, navani girnati naroparani. Okay, so body is like dress. Therefore, why lament for changing of a dress? So nobody laments for change of dress. So in a dream we may think of flying in the sky or sitting on a chariot as a king. But when we wake up, we can see that we are neither in the sky nor seated on the chariot. Okay. So in the dream, this kind of things happens. But when person is awake, he knows actually there was nothing like that. You know? One person may become a king or whatever. And he may get lot of lottery, lot of money. So, but when we wake up, we can see that actually it was a dream. Nobody laments, "Arey, I was a king, so nice, but why I woke up?" Nobody laments like this. "Oh, nice, I was in dream, I was very nice king, many servants were there, they were serving many type of food, many type of pleasures were there, but it was a dream, so I woke up, so I am feeling sad." So, but people say, anyway, it was a dream, okay, leave it. And they will forget about it. They will not lament, oh, no, because it was a dream. Right? So, the Vedic wisdom encourages self-realization on the basis of the non-existence of the material body. Therefore, in either case, whether one believes in the existence of the soul or one does not believe in the existence of the soul, there is no cause for lamentation for loss of the body. Okay, so finally it is the body which is getting lost, so there is no cause for lamentation. Okay, and Prabhupada gave nice commentary that in the both the case, if you believe soul exists, if you don't believe that soul exists, but in both the case there is no cause for lamentation for loss of the body. आश्चर्यवत् पश्यति कश्चित् एनम् आश्चर्यवद् वदति तथैव चान्यः आश्चर्यवत् चैनम् अन्यः शृणोति श्रुत्वापि एनं वेद न चैव कश्चित्. Some look on the soul as amazing, some describe him as amazing, and some hear of him as amazing, while others, even after hearing about him, soul, cannot understand him at all. So some people look on the soul as very nice, very amazing. Some describe soul is very amazing. Some hear about as amazing, but still there are some people, even after hearing about soul, cannot understand soul at all. There are some people. Since Gita Upanishad is largely based on the principles of the Upanishad, it is not surprising to also find this passage in the Kathopanishad. Okay. So, Prabhupada is quoting from Kathopanishad. Shravanyapi babhubhiryo na labhya shinvantopi bahavo yamva vidyuhu asharyo vakta kushalo asya labdha asharyo asya gyata kushlanushishtaha. The fact that the atomic soul is within the body of a gigantic animal, in the body of a gigantic banyan tree, and also in the microbic germs, millions and billions of which occupy only an inch of space, is certainly very amazing. Amazing, right? Because if you say elephant, if you say whale fish, big one, or big snakes, very big snakes are there, python and all. So, and then all these, whether it is elephant, horse, whale, or whatever it is, big animal, that soul is same. And the same soul is there in the germs and small insects. In 1 inch of space, millions and billions of germs can be there. In this much space, millions and billions of germs can be there. And in each of every germ, there is one soul. So in that much space, how many souls are there existing? But a big elephant, there is also one soul. So it's amazing, right? That same small particle of Supreme, that small soul is running the whole elephant body, big one. And that same soul is running small microbic germs and all like that. Okay? So you can understand how amazing. Men with a poor fund of knowledge and men who are not austere cannot understand the wonders of the individual atomic spark of spirit, even though it is explained by the greatest authority of knowledge, who imparted lessons even to Brahma, the first living being in the universe. So Brahma is the first person in this universe. That's why it is called Brahmand. And that Brahmaji was given knowledge by Krishna. Krishna instructed him. So that same Krishna is speaking about soul. But fool people, Prabhupada writing, men with a poor fund of knowledge and men who are not austere. Okay. Men who cannot do little austerity, they also cannot understand how this soul works. What are the wonderful activities? Okay. That they cannot understand. Even though it is being spoken, it is being explained by Krishna himself. But they are not able to understand. And you will find many people like that who don't understand this. Okay. So, owing to a gross material conception of things, most men in this age cannot imagine how such a small particle can become both so great and so small. Right? Such a big banyan tree and a small algae, both having the same soul. So people are materialistic people, they cannot figure out how it is possible. Because they think from their material logic. A small thing, big body, how it can run, like that they will think. Because they don't know that soul is wonderful, soul is part and parcel of Krishna. So men look at the soul proper as wonderful either by constitution or by description. Illusioned by the material energy, people are so engrossed in subject matters for sense gratification that they have very little time to understand the question of self-understanding. Very nice. People are so engrossed in subject matters for sense gratification, because they are too much involved in sense gratificatory activities that they have very little time to understand the question of self understanding. Just forget about understanding. People don't have time even to sit in Bhagavatam class or Bhagavad Gita class, right? If in a day 30-minute or 40-minute or 1 hour class people don't have time to sit, then what will be the value of them, and how they can understand what Krishna is saying, what Krishna wants from them, right? But people want that Krishna, God, should do all the merciful activities, should make everything pakka in their life, but they don't have even time for hearing. Just a 30-minute or 1 hour they don't have for Krishna, then how they will understand this confidential matter of Bhagavad Gita? So, this is most secret. Krishna is saying in 9th canto, right? Guhyatamam. So these people they are always busy with sense gratification, so they don't have any time for understanding this self realization topics. Even though it is a fact that without this self understanding, all activities result in ultimate defeat in the struggle for existence. And that's also true. They are engaged in sense gratification. They don't have time for understanding soul and God and Krishna, bhakti. But that's also true that without this, that means without bhakti, all the other things are waste, and ultimately at the time of death nothing will come in hand, everything will be finished and they will be a failure. Okay, in the human form of life they will be failure, because the human form of life is given for self realization and they could not utilize it. Okay, so perhaps they have no idea that one must think of the soul and thus make a solution to the material miseries. So that's also true. Many people don't have any idea about soul, God, bhakti. They don't have any idea. Some people have little idea that if you want to do, if you want everything pakka, everything successful and then you just do some puja. Some people have that idea, but some have that idea. Some people don't have that idea also. Okay, so what idea they have? They have only this idea that you have to somehow manage your stomach, eat nicely, so whole day work so that you can get enough food for you and for your family members. That is the life. So if you are very easily able to get food and a house and some salary you are having and you are able to, the life is successful, I am successful, that's what people think. But that kind of success even animals are having, that they are not able to understand. Okay, so that's the point here. Some people who are inclined to hear about the soul may be attending lectures in good association, but sometimes, this is very important, okay, some people some people who are inclined to hear about the soul may be attending lectures in good association, but sometimes owing to ignorance they are misguided by acceptance of the super soul and the atomic soul as one without distinction of magnitude. So now Prabhupada is in this paragraph talking about a different thing. Okay, because some people, they may understand something about soul and super soul, but due to their ignorance, what happens, they are misguided and they accept that super soul and the atomic soul is one. Okay, they cannot see the magnitude. Okay, so it is very difficult to find a man who perfectly understand the position of the super soul, the atomic soul, their respective function and relationship, and all other major and minor details. Wow, this is a very big truth. Prabhupada is speaking that very difficult to find a person who understand everything very clearly. And actually it is very, it's right only Prabhupada saying. It's really very rare to find a person who understand everything very clearly. Otherwise, people have so much misconception. Okay, so many misconceptions they have. Soul and super soul is one, and we all are God, or there is no form, or many things they have. Many confusions are there. So that's why Prabhupada is saying it's very difficult to find a man who perfectly understand what is soul, what is super soul, what is the relationship between soul and super soul, what is the functions of soul, what is the functions of super soul, okay, and all other major and minor details. It's not very easy. This is our great fortune, or you can say this is the great mercy of Srila Prabhupada, that we are made available by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada about this literature, and we are able to understand. Okay. So, and okay, this is very difficult to find a man who understands soul, super soul, and their function and their relationship and all the major and minor details. Further, and Prabhupada is saying that, and it is still more difficult to find a man who has actually derived full benefit from knowledge of the soul. Some people, first of all, it is very difficult to find a person who knows the knowledge of the soul and super soul and relationship between soul and super soul and their function and all those things. And still, it is still more difficult to find a person who is deriving full benefit of this knowledge. Otherwise, they have knowledge, but they are not able to derive the full benefit. Because many people are there, they know their soul exists and Bhagwan hai and all those things they know, but they are not able to take full benefit out of this knowledge. And who is able to describe the position of the soul in different aspects? Very difficult to find such a man. But if somehow or other one is able to understand the subject matter of the soul, then one's life is successful. So you can understand by this paragraph that it's a very difficult thing. So we should not take it very lightly. We should be very serious. It's not a side business. Okay, that okay, when we do all our daily activities, then if time remains, we can do some chanting or some bhakti or some katha or some reading Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. This is main activity. We have to do it as a main activity. So that's why it is said that you have to divide your day in 8. Okay, means 8 hours for your bodily needs, sleeping and other activities, eating and like that, and 8 hours for your livelihood, your job or office, and 8 hours for your bhakti. That's the division. 8. So 8 hours one should give for Krishna, but it's very difficult nowadays. So then up to you as per Shraddhanusar. So if you cannot give 8 hours for bhakti, then Shraddhanusar, as per your desire, you give maximum. But if you come to at least basic standard given by Srila Prabhupada, then 2 hour japa, 16 rounds if you have to do, 2 hour japa, and then 1 hour Bhagavatam class, okay, 3, and 1 hour your, at least 1 hour, but basically it is said like how much time you give for chanting, same time you should read. So in that way 2 hours, but if not 2, then at least 1 hour for your book reading, daily book reading, because that's the instruction of Prabhupada. Like chant every day 16 rounds is the one thing. So same way reading every day Prabhupada book is also another instruction of Prabhupada. So that's why if we don't read every day Prabhupada book, then it is a third offense against the holy name of the Lord, because third offense is to disobey the order of the spiritual master. So Srila Prabhupada gave order that you should read my books every day. So if we don't read, then we are doing the third offense. Then how we will get the pure holy name, Shuddha Nam? Offense are happening. We are doing offense. Okay. So every day we should read. So in that way, at least 4 hours. And then if you are a householder, then you will have some other activities like your arati, morning arati, evening, at least 2 arati we should do. Okay, so in that way 4 and 4.5 hours are there. But in case of householders, like your cooking and your offering bhoga, cleaning kitchen and all those things also comes in the bhakti only, because you are not cooking for yourself, you are cooking for. So in that way, if you see, you will get 8 hours. So 8, 8, 8, like that you should divide and plan your day. So if you have to work 10 hours, 12 hours in office, then there is some problem. So we have to correct. Okay, because some people have this idea that my life, how I want, it should go like that only. Whatever way it is going now, it should go like that only, and I can do bhakti also. That is not possible. Okay, some changes anyway we have to do in our life. Okay, that's how, because those are the required changes in which are required for progressing in bhakti. So we are not saying that you leave the job and sit in the jungle, but at least some modification we have to do. Many devotees are there, they have changed their job, they have changed their cities, and they made a proper place so that they can do bhakti. Many devotees, they initially they get job where there is no association of devotees, and then soon they get transferred and they select a place where they can get temple or devotee association, so that their bhakti is. Sometimes many devotees did they did change their location based on this principle, that they want association of devotees or bhakti properly. Bhakti, where I am able to do bhakti properly, where Maya is less. Okay, so like that. Sometimes for less salary also they have done, because they have given priority to bhakti, where I can do properly bhakti. Where, like, if you sometime there may be nice temple in your place, in your city, say like somebody's hometown, or another city, nice temple is there, but you have another kind of disturbances many. So you should know whether you will be able to cooperate or not. Like, you have your family members, relatives, temple is there, devotees are there, but your family members, relatives also there, and they are there every day calling you for birthday party, kitty party, this party, that party, every day you are. Then better you live in some other place where a small center is there at least, right? So if you are not that strong, one should not take risk. So you have to see everything properly, but somehow we have to mold our life in such a way so that we can do bhakti properly. Of course we have to find some time. Okay, so it's not like you can work 16 hours in the office and then you can go to parties and you can watch movies and all. Then where you will have time, right? Some people will do WhatsApp, Facebook status and all this update, TikTok, so many things they will do, and they'll waste 1 hour, 2 hour like that, and they'll say, no time for chanting, Prabhuji, I am so busy. You did 1 hour, 2 hour this thing. No, 2 hour means you will get this thing 16 uncompleted. Some people, they are not, they have bad planning. They have taken a job very far and room somewhere, 1 hour going, 1 hour coming back. So we have to plan properly and give priority. They say, Prabhuji, far I am taking, so it's a cheap rate for house rent. So now that means you have to see what is your high priority. So if you take nearby your office, in place of 1 hour drive, you can reach in 10-15 minutes. Then you will save at least 40 minutes, and you can chant some 5-6 round in that. And returning again, you can chant 5-6 round. So you will have your time saved. You can sit in home and chant. So in that way we have to plan. Anyway, the easiest process for understanding the subject matter of self, however, is to accept the statements of the Bhagavad Gita spoken by greatest authority, Lord Krishna, and without being deviated by other theories but it also requires a great deal of penance and sacrifice, either in this life or in the previous ones, before one is able to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So some austerity is also required. Some people have done great austerity in the previous lives. In this life, they are very easily they can understand. They take birth in the association of devotees, or they get association. They can get up in the morning. They can do all. But if not, then in this life also we have to do austerity, and at least one austerity like getting in the morning and chanting. That's much at least we have to do in the beginning level. Okay. So everyone should at least try to get up in the morning and chant Hare Krishna. Okay. Krishna can, however, be known as such by the causeless mercy of the pure devotee and by no other way. So from our side, we have to do enough austerity, like getting in the morning, do seva, temple cleaning, or Vaishnav seva. All we have to do from our side. But that does not mean that you say, see, I did this much. Now, Krishna, you are forced to bless me. No, Krishna is not forced. Krishna is free. If you don't do anything, but if Krishna wants, he will give you bhakti. But if you do so many things, if you don't want, he will not give. So that's why one should serve Vaishnavas, because by the mercy of pure devotee, Guru, Vaishnava, Sadhu, by the mercy of pure devotee, Krishna's mercy is very easily achieved. Okay, so that's why one should do nice bhakti, nice sadhana, like getting in the morning and going to temple on festivals or regular Sundays and programs and do some seva, all those things. So when some pure devotee will see you very active in all the sevas, so they will say, a very nice devotee, very nicely active, he will come and bless you, and then you will immediately progress. You will immediately get, like you are chanting 2 rounds, but some pure devotee came and blessed you, immediately you went 12 rounds, 16 rounds, like that it can happen. Okay, all of a sudden your questions are answered, like many things like that can happen. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. If you have any question, you can ask, or otherwise we'll start our Bhagavatam Canto 9. Yes, Hare Krishna. So text 30 Bhagavad Gita we shall do tomorrow. Thank you so much. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.